All right, welcome back. We all have those friends that are very successful in their chosen fields of work, right? They may be a doctor, a lawyer, engineers, or even tech wizards. But when I see them and I talk to them, the conversation usually finds its way back to investing, as it does, right? And they always say they wish that they were better at it, right? Some say it intimidates them, and a lot admit that they have a blind spot when it comes to investing in retirement. Well, we've often talked about education and financial literacy on this show, and I believe we've taken a big step forward when it comes to education and finance. It's going to come through these new Trump accounts. That's my opinion. I talked about it earlier today on Fox. I see two huge knock-on effects coming from these accounts. Firstly, we're going to see a lot more money finding its way into investing. That's good if you're already an investor, right? And secondly, we're going to be introducing a lot of young people to the discipline of investing. And I think that'll be a real big positive outcome from all this. And it's going to be big enough, I think, that someday it's going to take the responsibility away from the government and Social Security to look after you and hand that power back to the citizen investor. I wonder my next guest's thoughts on this, though. He's a pretty important guy in that area. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Craig Bolanos. He's a co-founder and wealth partner at VestGen Wealth Partners in Chicago. Craig, I think one of they don't not a lot of people are talking about it, but I just love the idea. It's almost biblical. Give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach him to fish, he eats forever. I feel like we're going to be teaching them to invest, and they'll be able to invest forever, which I think ultimately will take away some of this dependence upon Social Security. What say you?
I certainly think so, Scott. I'm incredibly encouraged that young people are becoming more and more engaged in the investment process. Now, I do want to make sure that the investment process is what we're discussing. Don't get me started on what I call online gambling sites and how that's turning people into traders and not investors. But when we bring it to something so basic, the Trump accounts, this is huge news. This is a very big deal. It's a reason it was Super Bowl worthy in terms of commercials. It doesn't replace an IRA. It doesn't replace a 529 college savings account, but I love Trump accounts, and all of our viewers probably should too.
So I've been talking about it like you and I just were talking about it. It's going to be something, everybody gets to the end of their working years and they look at Social Security and it's just not going to be good enough. And then they haven't really saved and had anything to do like I believe these Trump accounts will do. But I've had some people write into the show saying there's no way that the government could steal this like they stole our Social Security. And I said the answer is unequivocally, I would say no, because this is a personal thing for you. It's not something that the government set aside through your Social Security tax for all the working you've done. But what do you say to maybe some of your customers or your accounts that might say the government can't get their hands on my Trump account, can they?
No, let's be really clear. The Trump account resides under the taxpayer ID number. The Trump account does not live on
Right.
deposit with the federal government and does not live on deposit with the state that you're a part of. So just as your 401ks and your IRAs are your money, a Trump account, so too is your money or that child's money under their Social Security number. So you don't have to worry about the long arm of the government coming in. So I want everybody just to do the math here, because if you can find a way between yourself and other loved ones to get up to $5,000 placed into a Trump account that then grows tax deferred, that's invested in great companies around the globe through low cost indexing, then this thing is going to compound. And we should really start nicknaming these not Trump accounts. They should be nicknamed financial freedom accounts, because if they don't need to be tapped for education, the miracle of compounding is literally going to set people up for financial freedom. And that's needed in a world where some of our current entitlement systems are under extreme duress.
Great point. And if you put in the $5,000 a month or $5,000 a year, let's just say you get to the age of 18. I've seen a bunch of different examples of what it could grow to, but you have to index that of what your expectation is for the overall market, right? So the expectation is that it can be $250,000 to $275,000 by the time this child turns 18. But if they don't touch it and run it until retirement, we're talking seven figures, correct?
Yeah, Scott, these will turn into seven-figure balances if people choose not to tap it for higher education at the 18. And I put the twist on, Scott, you get this thing funded, And then you start doing conversions of Trump accounts into Roth IRAs. And now you don't have tax deferred growth. Now you have tax free growth forever, further eliminating the taxing authority from taking a piece. That's what I call future proofing. And again, that's why I love Trump accounts, and our viewers should too.
Future proofing. I like that. And so the answer to the real nitty gritty, the answer to maybe a viewer that might say the government can't get their hands on this, not unless they do some sort of tax that they were getting their hands on everything else too. So maybe through taxation, they get their fingers involved, but they're not going to be able to do what they did to Social Security to the Trump accounts because of what you said. It resides with the taxpayer ID at the taxpayer level.
Absolutely, 100%. This is virtually seizure proof, guys. I mean, you got to go ahead and use these things. Everybody knows this is one more tool to empower free men and free women to take care of themselves. And that's what Trump accounts are all about. Might it pave a pathway for a lot of future changes? Sure, it could, because all change starts with small steps. But this is a small step that I think requires larger action, which is everyone to consider adoption between now and the end of the year.
100%. Great stuff. This thing should get way more play than it's getting. I appreciate you coming on and talk about it, Craig. You're the perfect person to talk about how these things are going to affect your retirement. 7 figures it could possibly be if you do it right. It's a great deal. Appreciate you coming on, Craig. Thanks very much. Craig Bolanos, he's a co-founder and wealth partner at VestGen Wealth Advisors up in Chicago. Thanks for being on the show. All right.